Hello, Basham here, and welcome back to some more Higurashi When They Cry. Just before we continue, I'm pretty sure that we can say now that Rika somehow can tell the future, as I was saying before. It would explain her maturity, I guess. Well, it depends on how the future sight thingy works. If she sees the future, or it's like a time leap thing, maybe. In any case, might explain maturity. It might also explain the sudden shifts which we saw in this chapter, and it would explain just the overall chapter 3, the whole double thing. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue, and yeah, also the fact that she's saying this quite accurately. So let's continue. What she said was not so much wishful thinking as it was telling of the future that had already been determined. She wasn't even predicting it. It was almost like she was simply reporting the results. See, okay, that's pretty much what I was saying. That's how it sounded. Even though it was baseless speculation, the way she said it wouldn't let me interject. It was the same way she talked when she changed. While I struggled to find the words to reply to her, she wandered over to the other side of the grounds, not minding me at all. Not in a state where I could afford to be left behind, I hurriedly followed after her. Passing through a copse of pine trees, a strong and cool breeze ruffled my hair. There, from that one evening, was the splendid observation platform the girl had shown me. As it had grown completely dark, the modest lights littered across the nightscape were providing a different type of scenery. It's quite nice.
こうして眺めると、この村ものどかそうに見えますのです。
Quite a nice picture, but yeah. She said that with an indifferent look on her face.
君は先日、この村は絶対にダムに沈むことはないと、そう断言したね。
She didn't reply, seemingly relishing in the feeling of the wind blowing through her hair.
あれは、あの時点でもう、大臣が要求に応じていたという意味だったんだね。
She spun around, her gaze meeting mine. But she said nothing. She spoke nothing that would neither confirm nor deny what I had just said.
多分、今回の事件は闇から闇へ葬られる。本庁上層部は多分大臣のスキャンダルが公になってトラブルになることを望まないと思う。
さもないと、孫を殺すぞと脅したに違いないのです。
で、大臣との交渉が成功し、孫は解放された。
孫を助けたのは赤坂ですよ。
どうだろう。発端となったあの財布の発見。あれ自体がすでに出来すぎだったように思う。
Ever since the moment that wallet was discovered, I felt something was odd. Oshi said it as well. That the Sonozaki family had given the order to release the hostage, meaning that our little manhunt was a farce to begin with. Come to think of it, I was punched, kicked, and had a gun pointed at me. I felt like they put up quite a fight, but that might have been all part of a good performance. Once the negotiations were successful, they couldn't just say, "Here you go," and return the minister's grandson right to his doorstep. They knew that public safety had realized that this was a kidnapping case, and were moving in on it. That's why, due to the actions of public safety, the grandson was able to be rescued safely. So the minister didn't give in to any unreasonable demands. That type of performance was necessary.
僕には難しいことはよくわかりません。
同感だな。私にだって難しいことはよくわからない。だが、一つ確実なことがある。 君が言った通りってことさ。この村はダム湖になんか沈まない。ダム計画なんてそのうちなくなってしまうってことさ。
That wasn't something an officer of the law should be saying, but I naturally let those words slip from my mouth. This village may have stirred up all sorts of trouble, but that was because they were protecting their homes. If someone just decided by themselves that I had to leave the house I was used to living in, I would resent them as well. On top of that, it wasn't a place like mine where I just happened to be renting it, but a place that their families had lived for generations. It might be ignorant to call their desperate resistance an overreaction. I might not really be qualified to criticize politics or bureaucracy, but deliberately building a dam on land that was loved by its residents wasn't something I could get behind.
でもよかったじゃないか。
どうしてですか？
少なくともこれでこの村に平和が戻るよ。
And yeah, well, considering that she was talking about the 5 to 6 years, she probably knows about murders then? Even though the minister promised to use his considerable influence to cancel the project, it would probably take more than a few months before it would be completely scrapped. At the very least, it would probably take 1 or 2 years. For the villagers to officially hear that their village wasn't going to be submerged at the bottom of the dam was still a ways away. But it was no mistake that the promise of peace returning to the village was there. It turned out, from beginning to end, that it had already been decided. Just as the girl had said, it was decided. There wasn't really a need for me to come here in the first place. There was absolutely no need for me to have come here and aggravated an unpleasant situation. If I had never come here then, the grandson's release might have been done in a more amicable manner.
平和がこの村に？
When I nodded, she laughed as if to admonish me, but her face remained indifferent, expressionless. And then her eyes narrowed slightly as she snickered.
これから毎年血生臭いことが起きるのに。
リカちゃん、何の話だい？
As the wind blew her hair about, the girl, as if taking pleasure in that I was the only one who didn't know, continued to snicker as she looked at my face for a while. It kind of reminds me of, what's the, nurse's name? Like, just the way which she laughed and everything. Kind of remind me of her. Maybe she's also related in some way to this power thing, or future thingy? Maybe it happened when she became a murderer? Who knows?
私ね、あと何年かすると殺されるの。
Eh? Ooh. Actually, yeah. Okay, a bit confused about that, because... Well, we didn't see it happen in the first one, but that doesn't mean that it didn't happen. We know that it happened in the second and the third one. The second one was by Mion. The third one was in the aftermath of Keiichi wishing everyone was dead. So, yeah. And my first thoughts when she said that was, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. But then, why wouldn't she avoid her death? So it probably isn't something as simple as just seeing the future? Huh? Like lit by the moon, it was hard to tell if her expression that had been cast in shadow was smiling, amused, or resigned.
リカちゃんがどうして？
とても不愉快なことだけど、それも多分決まってることなの。
Which probably means that she has died in every path so far. And yeah, that pretty much does confirm that she does know the future.
決まっているって、誰がそんなことを決めるんだい？
それを私も知りたいの。
She doesn't know what's behind it. Turning back to face me, she showed me a resolute expression for the first time. After staring into my eyes for a moment, she turned back to gaze at the scenery before she spoke her next words.
ここは人の命を何とも思わない連中でいっぱいです。これを伝えても何も変わらないかもしれないけど、でも死という月を映す水面をかき消すためなら小石を投じることもあるかもしれない。
So it doesn't seem to be that she sees the future, otherwise she would have seen the exact way which she would have died in like, the second one. Although it did seem like she knew what was going to happen, and so she... Like, I mentioned this previously, that it seemed maybe she had used up all the soy sauce on purpose to go to Mion's, to give them a clue as to what was going to happen. But then why do that actually if she knew that she was going to die there? Maybe it's something like when she dies, time meets back. Maybe she gets to choose. Maybe it actually doesn't happen when she dies, but she chooses to, like she can choose beforehand or something, or at any point in time. And so maybe she's come back here to try to change something with this event. Or maybe she was just sent back here. Lots of possibilities. I had no idea what she was trying to say. It's just, I had to listen to every word with my body and soul. Or at least, that's what I thought.
来年の今日、そう、昭和54年の6月の今日、ダム現場の監督が殺されます。
Oh, that's next year that's happening, not this year. Okay. Huh. For a moment, I couldn't comprehend what she was talking about. I thought it was this year. I think I said that last episode. By the foreman, did she mean that gruff old man I played mahjong with?
殺されるって、どうして？
She didn't answer, but she had the same expression on her face as she did when she declared that the dam project would go away. That wasn't the face of somebody making a forecast or a prediction. It was something that was already decided. No, it was as if she was already reporting the results. That sort of expression.
恐ろしい殺され方をした後、体中をバラバラに引き裂かれて捨てられてしまいます。
バラバラ殺人。
Yeah.
その翌年の昭和55年の6月の今日、聡子の両親が突き落とされて死にます。
Satoko? This is the first time I heard that name, but I didn't have the courage to interpret the girl's story.
あるいは事故と言うべきかもしれない。不幸な事故。
The girl smiled faintly, but she wasn't exactly encouraging me to smile along with the lifeless look in her eyes. Also another thing, the fact that like maturity shows and like the way which she's saying seems to be already decided upon. It sounds like it's more she's already experienced it multiple times and she's come back to this time. Also, I'm just reminded about, I think it was in this game, there was one tip which was talking about the events which are already decided, like it being sunny in the summer, but you wish that it would rain anyway, kind of thing. So that was probably from
そして さらにその翌年の昭和56年の6月の今
Enrique's fond of you.
日、私の両親が殺されます。そしてさらに翌年の昭和57年の6月の今日、聡子の意地悪おばが頭を割られて死にます。そしてさらに翌年の昭和58年の6月の今日、あるいはその数日後か、私が殺されます。すべての死が予定調和なら、最後の死もまた予定のうちなのでしょうか。
But whose plan?
でもならばこれは一体誰の予定なの？
And there is some variability on when exactly she dies, it seems. Oh, which we've seen before. But it's... Oh, sorry. Keiichi died in the first one. He survived the other 2 times. So... Maybe only her death is fixed? And Tomitake? Then, okay, every time there's always been more than just the 2. Just for death and the disappearance. This village is full of murderers and people who have no regard for human life. It would be fine to believe that all the deaths up to 1982 would be the work of somebody in the village. It would be fine to believe that all the deaths that would occur were at the discretion of those who control the village. That didn't explain what would happen in 1983. There was no way that the last death would fit in with anybody's plans. And there's the whole thing. I'm just trying to fit puzzle pieces together in my head right now. And I had something. Yeah, so if... In that case, why that year specifically is nothing fixed? Like the other years, everything, like the years before the final year, which 83, those are always 2 fixed deaths, but then why the change for last year? I'm guessing it's because she's trying to change it, but... Or perhaps whatever else is causing it also is changing it as well to make sure that she dies. And that part is fixed. Like, for example, Takano-san, that's her name. She disappeared in the first one, but died in the second and third. Well, yeah. And like her death was seen, her dead body was found, and placed there really. Well, supposedly Tomitake-san, as I've said. No, Takano-san, as I've said previously, that I think that she faked her death. Anyway, that's not quite the point. In that case, because Mion killed her in the second one, and Keiichi killed her effectively in the third one. Whatever caused Mion to... So it wouldn't have been Mion herself exactly which killed her. In the second one, it's something else which took over her in effect. The thing which took over her, and then used the excuse that it was part of her duties to make her feel like it was her. I'll just continue anyway. They had no regard for human life. They would use every means at their disposal to meet their goals. But their goals were at odds with the last death. And that's why the last death was unrelated to them. And that last death would definitely, most likely, probably, without question, happen. Probably definitely, I dare say. The last death would be a merciful one. A handkerchief, something being placed over their mouth. making them lose consciousness, never to wake up again. Exactly whose plan was that?
私は幸せに生きたい。望みはそれだけ。大好きな友人たちに囲まれて楽しく日々を過ごしたい。それだけなの。それ以上の何も望んでいないの。
So does she see perhaps like the entire town as her enemy? That's why she befriended Akasaka-san, also to try to make a ripple to change things?
リカちゃん。
死にたくない。
The girl, stoic as ever, let those last words slip in at the end. Eventually we were discovered by some drunks. The girl, as well as I, were dragged back to the festivities. Everybody was completely drunk, so even when they saw my head completely wrapped in bandages, they wouldn't let me leave. No, certain. If I was in good enough condition to slip out of a hospital, it must not be that serious. But you probably shouldn't be having alcohol, with head injuries and all. The girl was mingling with everybody, being pampered like a kitten. Her expression was adorable, nothing like the one from just before. Predicting her own death and whispering that she didn't want to die. Having said that, having a silly and lively conversation like this, it was hard to believe that these people were the core of an extremist resistance group. Even if it was a show of its former self, it was a festival where people in the village gathered, so the 20-some-odd folk here should have included some of the village executives and other important members. Among those, there was no doubt that there were members that were at the Sonozaki Family Council in attendance. Meaning, even if we never met face to face before, there were people here who knew my identity. In a small village like this, they knew the faces of all the villagers that lived here. That's why, without even saying anything, it soon became obvious that I was an outsider. But they actually seemed interested by that, asking me all sorts of questions about Tokyo, drinking while musing on the faint relationship the city had with the villagers, and empathizing with the rather meager environment. The confidential talks with the minister were finished. His grandson was in police custody. Everything was over. I might not have to be put in another perilous situation. To me, they were only my adversaries because of my job. Outside of that, there was no reason I couldn't be friendly with them. The next time I visited this village, would it return to being a tranquil and beautiful place? If that happened, I might be able to take a relaxed walk around the village with her again. My cup was once again filled to the brim with beer. At the time I was able to get away, it was the middle of the night. The girl had at some point disappeared. It seemed that her parents had told her to go home and sleep when she let out a large yawn. The old folks, who had absolutely no remorse for making an injured person hanging out with them, told me as much as they laughed. I was just there drinking, so I thought to help a bit with cleanup. However, my help was refused on the grounds that I was a guest. On top of that, they had a car prepared to take me back to the hospital. Losing the battle against my sleepiness inside the car, I was sound asleep until we reached the parking lot of the hospital. The front door of the hospital was naturally locked at this hour. I wandered around bewilderedly searching for a back entrance until somebody on night duty found out and let me inside.
こんな時間までどちらへ？入江先生も心配してましたよ。
ご迷惑をおかけしました。神社でお祭りの人たちに引き止められまして。
ああ、そういえば今日は神社で町会の人たちが集まって飲むとか言ってたな。それはご愁傷様でした。傷は大丈夫ですか？
ちょっとズキズキしますね。多分アルコールのせいだと思います。
そうだ。お連れの刑事さんが連絡が欲しいと言ってましたよ。
いけない。大石さんを待たせてたんだった。
I glanced at the clock. No matter how you looked at it, it was way too late to call him now. I wonder as well if perhaps Rika somehow influenced him to keep going for the payphones. Like how he rejected the office phone. Maybe that was somehow because of Rika's influence. Not sure. Because now that we know for sure there's some kind of time thingy involved, what else is there? I'll apologise to him tomorrow over the phone. He's talking about Hoishi, but yeah. I returned back to my hospital room and slipped into the bed that was still unmade from the time I went outside. Oh, that's no good. I have to turn off the lights. But my awareness had cut the cord powering my body, lulling me into a deep sleep. End of a chapter? I'm expecting? But we still haven't gone to the future part, which was what 2000s, I think, early 2000s, not. So let's see at the beginning. So what's gonna happen in 2000s, I wonder? Because Rika probably wouldn't have found a way. It probably wouldn't be enough of a change for Rika to survive. Anyway, let's go on with Mother's Diary. There was something I didn't like about my child. I first realized it when I started writing these things down. What's this? They never warn you about it in any books about raising children. They aren't just a plaything. If they aren't able to feel loved even when they're not doing exactly as their parents want them to, then those parents are failures. This wasn't something like that though. How can I say it? It's probably hard to express with mere words. This is probably Rika, but maybe Satoko? I just want my child to be average. As long as they weren't falling behind, there wasn't any need for them to excel at something. As long as they acted appropriately for their age, I would have been fine with it. So that's probably it. It's probably because Rika acting far too mature. But my child had been different ever since kindergarten. While the children in her class were running around in excitement about the field trip the next day, she only wore a bored look on her face, aloof and distant. So that's probably why she acts so like Nipa, me, and all that. That's probably to try to make everyone else think that she's fitting in. When the other kids broke the equipment for the athletics festival and were apologizing fervently, she only wore a bored look on her face, aloof and distant. When the teacher was reading a fun picture book, only she wasn't smiling. Even if they all got to eat a delicious bento, only she wasn't happy. If it was only this, it would still be in the realm of understanding. However, what I don't understand about my child is that if the aforementioned situations happened again, they'd now act in a manner befitting their age. And what do they mean by happening again? Do they mean in terms of time travel kind of thing, or? And why would Rika go through it the first time bored, and then later on act their age? Wouldn't it make more sense that she acts bored and aloof after she's already experienced it? So why? You don't understand the principle behind that as a parent. Why were they indifferent about that field trip, but happy about this one? Why were they indifferent about that picture book, but happy about this one? So probably the ones that she's happy about, she's changed something so that they're a new experience. She hasn't experienced those ones, but she experienced the previous ones. Why are they indifferent about that bento, but happy about this one? The former and the latter in each situation seemed exactly the same to me. There was even times when I thought the former one was better. I don't understand that child's feelings. During parent-teacher meetings, the teacher always says the same thing, and I would always respond that I don't understand my own child, and we would mope together. My husband, always the optimist, once said that a young child's feelings are different from an adult's, so if there's some things we didn't understand, we shouldn't worry about it. I lament his lack of urgency. One day, when I was in a good mood, I took the effort to prepare a menu that my child would enjoy, but she only smiled with a vague expression of disinterest. That attitude frankly made me angry, so I hit her on the head. On a day when the weather was nice, the laundry I had just hung up to dry was blown by a large gust of wind, causing the entire line to fall down. But she, watching me trying to pick up the laundry in a panic, stood there laughing. That attitude frankly made me angry, so I hit her on the head. I think the same sort of thing happened countless times. Before I knew it, my child was only able to look at me with an indifferent expression on her face. I regret the fact that I've been a bad mother. Thinking I should regain her trust, I thought to get it back little by little with some nice interactions. Seeing her do some sort of craft work on the veranda, I called out to her.
ここ数日気持ちのいい晴れの日が続いて気分がいいわね。
Trika's mother after all. That child, with that indifferent look on her face I hated so much, looked up at me for a moment, then without a word returned to immersing herself in her craft work. Up until now, I would have hit her on the head just for that. I held myself back.
何を作ってるの？お人形さん？てるてる坊主。
That child was using inserts from the newspaper to deftly make some weather charms. The forecast hadn't called for rain. That child, in her own way, was praying that these sunny days would continue. I don't think so. She's wishing for rain. Being able to understand my own child for the first time in a while, I couldn't hide my own happiness. Bringing out a ball of yarn, I began to hang my child's cute weather charms on the eaves of the house.
ダメよリカ。頭が重すぎるから。ほら。逆さてるてる坊主になっちゃったわ。
Exactly.
これじゃ晴れじゃなくて雨になっちゃうわよ。
When I started to take them down, my child tugged at the hem of my shirt as if to stop me.
逆さになるように作ったのだから、それでいいの。でもリカ、てるてる坊主が逆さじゃ晴れのおまじないにならないわよ。雨が降るようにおまじないをしているから、それでいいの。
I desperately suppressed the emotions welling up inside me. I was trying desperately to understand my child.
あ、そっか。お庭の朝顔が晴れ続きで元気がなくなっちゃったから雨が欲しいのね。
That child turned to me with an expression that I hated the most.
晴れにね。飽きたの。
I don't understand. I don't understand. I just can't understand that child. And so I'll end it here for today. I hope you all enjoyed. We'll come back to the other two diaries next time. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments. And until next time, see ya.